Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is I, the one, the only Hidden Flame. And today I wanted to do something a little different. Um, I am a big fan of pro wrestling, have been since I have been able to watch TV. I grew up watching WCW. My favorite professional wrestler is Diamond Dallas Page. And so I've been watching the CWC, or the Cruiserweight Classic, that WWE is putting together. Now, as you can see on the screen, we have the 32 competitors. Kenneth Johnson, Akira Tozawa, Jack Gallagher, Fabian Reichner, Tajiri, Damian Slater, Alejandro Ceres, Gran Mahalik. That's just in the first block. But as you can see, this was the first round. As of recording right now, we are on the second round. The match is just finished up. So let me give you guys the way the blocks are now officially set up. So in the first bracket, we had Kenneth Johnson versus Akira Tozawa, with Tozawa going over. We had Jack Gallagher versus Fabian Reichner, with Gallagher going over. We had Tajiri versus Damian Slater, with Tajiri going over. And Alejandro Ceres versus Gran Mahalik, with Mahalik going over. Now, from what I saw of these matches, Tajiri was a no-brainer advancing, with him being a WWE veteran and one of the hardest kickers I have seen in a long time. Gran Mahalik, a very good lucha libre, going over Alejandro Sares in what was a great high-flying match. Jack Gallagher going over Fabian Reichner. I didn't see Gallagher going over. It was like a 5-foot nothing wrestler going up against what looked like a 6-foot behemoth. Both cruiserweights, with Gallagher going over, and it really surprised me. And Akira Tozawa going over Kenneth Johnson. I really didn't know about either of these two, but Tozawa showed a great what's the word I'm looking for? Great ring presence against Mr. Johnson. The next bracket, we have yet another WWE alumni, Brian Kendrick going over Raul Mendoza. We had Tony Nese going up against Anthony Bennett, with Tony going over. We had Kota Ibushi going over Sean Matula, and we had Cedric Alexander going up against Clement Petot. Now, Brian Kendrick, again, was a shoehorn. He was an ex-WWE superstar looking to make his one final chance to get through, so I can see him doing dirty tactics to get through. Next, we had Anthony Bennett versus Tony Nese. Now, I really didn't know too much about these two either, but it was a really good match. Not much really to say about it since it wasn't really memorable, but it was an alright match. Then we have Kota Ibushi versus Sean Matula. Ibushi is a hell of a kicker. I was wincing each time he hit Matula. Now, Matula is one of the Ayatollah family. I think I'm saying that right. The ones who were the cousin of The Rock, the cousin of Roman Reigns, the cousin of the Usos, which I thought he would go over Ibushi because he's part of that family, but I guess not. And Cedric Alexander himself going over Clement Petot from France. Alexander reminded me a lot of Shelton Benjamin. A lot of high-flying moves, very charismatic, and just flying across the ring. So that's for block 2. In block 3, we had Drew Gallagher going over Sahara. We had Jack Sabre Jr. going up against going over Tyson Du. We had Noam Dar, a member of WCPW, What Culture Pro Wrestling, going up went over the other Sahara. They're both brothers from India, I believe. And then we had Ho Ho Loon going up against Davari. Now, let's start with that last one, Davari. He is the brother of a former manager in WWE. He was the one who was a manager of Muhammad Hassan, the Great Khali, and all of them. So I was figuring he would go over just because of his, again, lineage, but I was wrong. We had Noam Dar going over Sahara in what I thought was a pretty good submission match. For high flyers, that's something unique. Jack Sabre Jr. outmatching Tyson Dux, and also with Drew Gulak going against the other Sahara, which I thought the Sahara boys would get together. It'd be a good semifinals match. But again, my personal predictions, well, didn't fall out. So that was block 3. Okay, everybody, in round 4, we had TJ Perkins going over Damac. We had Johnny Gangaro versus Tommaso Ciampa, with Johnny going over. We had Mustafa Ali versus Lance Dorado, with Lance going over, and Rich Swann versus Jason Lee, with Swann going over. Now, with these matches, I'll first talk about Perkins versus Damac. We had a really good, high-flying, very fast-paced match with Damac actually looking like a Michael Jackson wannabe. Dancing and looking the part, had the jacket. Then we'll move to Ali versus Dorado. It was sort of a high-flying match, but it was more of a ground and pound versus a lucha libre, with the lucha libre at upmost winning. We had Rich Swann, which, if I heard Daniel Bryan correctly, we see him in NXT. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but hey, he went over Jason Lee, whose very inspiration was Bruce Lee. And then we had, I swear, the match of the tournament. The NXT tag team going against each other. Johnny versus Tommaso. There was a lot of heavy hits in this match, and I recommend you see it for yourself. And I won't spoil the whole match, but there was a lot of spots that looked cringeworthy, and Johnny put up one hell of a fight. So that is what it is in block 4. Okay, so let me try to get my opinion on who's going to win this tournament. Now, let's first start with the first round 1 match. Akira Tozawa versus Jack Gallagher. First off, we have Akira Tozawa representing Japan. He is a very fast, very high-flying, and loves his German suplex more than Brock Lesnar does. Then we have Jack Gallagher, who is a submission cruiserweight, representing England, with the most unique set of ring gear that I have seen on any people in WWE. Now, between these two, I actually see Gallagher going over, just for the simple fact that, yes, Tozawa is fast. Yes, he can do Germans. But from what I saw when it comes to Gallagher's matches and his submissions, he can lock on a submission quicker than Chris Benoit, than Kurt Angle. So, yes, Tozawa, in my opinion, is faster, stronger. But once Gallagher hits that submission, I think Akira is going to tap. Our next matchup in block 1 is going to be Tajiri versus Mahalik. Now, we'll start with Mahalik here. He represents Mexico and is a lucha libre specialist. Him going up against the WWE veteran Tajiri is going to be a match that is a must-see. Now, personal opinions, Tajiri's buzzsaw kick has taken out so many superstars in his time. I've seen him go up against Rey Mysterio. I've seen him go up against Brian Kendrick. I've seen him go up against even some bigger stars and has won. Though Mahalik, in my opinion, is going to win against Tajiri. Now, I liked both of these superstars going into this tournament, and I was hoping this would be the finals, but it's not going to be as much so. But Tajiri is strong, he's quick, but I think the Lucha Libre style that Mahalik is going to bring to this match is going to overcome Tajiri. And the final match of Block 1, Gallagher versus Mahalik. Now, this one would be interesting because you have someone who's very submission based versus someone who is very high flying based. It seems like it would be a squash match with Mahalik going over. But like I said against Tozawa, I think Gallagher might go over. Might, and that's not my official stance. Might go over because of his submission status. But he seems to be an old-fashioned, slow-paced wrestler, with Mahalik being very fast, very high tempo, and with a 20-minute time limit on these matches, I actually see Mahalik winning quickly within maybe 8 or 9 minutes against Gallagher's speed. Now, those of you who have heard, Mahalik does have a WWE contract, and yes, that could favor in his run through this, but I actually see Mahalik just outmatching Gallagher and winning. And as you can see through my first round here, I will go over it one last time. Gallagher going over Akira Tozawa, Mahalik going over Tajiri, and then Mahalik going over Tozawa to get into the semifinals. Okay, I honestly see this Block 2 going only one way. So I'm just going to make this short, sweet, and give you my reason why. First off, Brian Kendrick versus Tony Nese. Brian Kendrick seems to be the villain in this tournament. He used a little bit of dirty tactics against Mendoza, and I see him doing the same thing to Tony Nese, because he is desperate to get back into WWE and that one final hurrah as a WWE superstar. So I see Kendrick going over. Next we have Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander. This is a match I want to see badly. So we have Cedric Alexander. Like I said before, he really reminds me of Shelton Benjamin. Now, he has gone up against people like Kevin Owens. He has gone up against Tommaso Ciampa. He is very, very high flying, very fast. Yet, Kota Ibushi is, well, he has the kicks to knock Cedric out of this tournament. And those kicks will be painful on Alexander, and I wish Alexander the best on his way home. Now, Kendrick versus Ibushi. This match is going to be unique. Kendrick is one of the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. Yes, New Day just beat it, but they held it. He and Paul London held it for a very long time. So Kendrick knows what he's doing. Kota Ibushi also knows what he's doing. He is not the golden star for nothing. While Kendrick will be trying to use his dirty tactics through this match, I see Kota Ibushi winning. Now, again, yes, Ibushi has a WWE contract, but Kendrick, again, I think he's just a little too old, and he had his time in the spotlight, and I think it's time for Ibushi to shine. And he will shine with those damned kicks of his. So just to recap, we have Kendrick going over Tony Nese. We have Kota Ibushi going over Cedric Alexander. And then Kota Ibushi going up against the Brian Kendrick. It's going to be interesting to see if any of these matches are going to be bad. Because I think all three matches will probably steal the show. But we'll see when the time comes. Okay, in block 3, we're going to have two interesting matches. We're going to have Drew Gulak, I forget his name, versus Jack Sabre Jr. These are two technical submission experts. So we're going to see a slow-paced beatdown trying to make the other person tap. But while, yes, it is submission, and I love me some submission matches, I really don't care too much about it. But in my opinion, I think Jack Sabre Jr. has the better charisma, while Drew seems to be more of like just a heavy hitter, your typical I will crush you type person. So it's not really a match I'm looking forward to in the second round, but it would be nice to see Jack Sabre Jr. going over. Now this next match, I want Noam Dar to win. I really do. This is going to be a high flyer versus high flyer. Ho-Ho Loon, Noam Dar. But because Noam Dar is I'm guessing he's under contract with What Culture Pro Wrestling, he has obligations there. And since I have seen him on live matches from WCPW, I kind of have to give this one to Ho-Ho Lin, just for that simple fact. Sorry, Nom. I hope you do well in WCPW. From what I have seen in the past between a high flyer versus a submission expert, like Rey Mysterio versus Chris Benoit, the submission experts always win. But Ho-Ho Lin is might be one of those exceptions. He's quick. His strikes hurt. Yet stuck on Noam Dar. Zack Sabre Jr.'s submissions also hurt. So I'm not really quite sure how to make this prediction. It's going to be completely up in the air, almost literally. But if I had to choose, I would have to say Zack Sabre Jr. will come out on top over Ho-Ho Lin. Again, just because submissions usually beats high flyers. Again, personal views. Now, just to recap, Zack Sabre makes Drew Gulak tap. We have Ho-Ho Lin out flying Noam Dar. And then Zack Sabre Jr. stopping the high-flying aspects of Ho-Ho Lin to advance to the semifinals. Now, if you love cruiserweight matches and you love high-flying matches, you are going to love Block 4. TJ Perkins, Johnny Gargano, Lince Dorado, and Rich Swann. Let's first start with Swann versus Dorado. This is going to be a match between a shooting star press versus a 450 splash. Lucha Libre versus Technical High Flying. It's going to be very quick, very aerial, and I want Rich Swann to win because personally, in my opinion, he's also an NXT guy. And if you want to make an impact in this tournament, you have to have your guys advance a little bit. You lost to Jerry, yes. You lost Kendrick, yes. But the next, the NXT guys, I think are going to advance. At least with Rich Swann. Next, we have Johnny Gargano versus TJ Perkins. So, Perkins versus Gargano is going, in my personal opinion, with Johnny Gargano. Just because when you watch the Tommaso Ciampa match, you will see that Gargano has the heart of a champion. He has that never say die attitude. He will keep fighting even after he is broken, and Tommaso Ciampa gave him that hell of a beating. So I'm going to take it straight from here into the finals with Johnny Gargano overcoming Rich Swann. Both are high flyers, both are very showy in the ring, but again, as I said with Perkins, Gargano is going to come out and eke out a win just for the sake of he will not go away. You can hit him with, I think it was the air raid crash on the ring apron. He had a backbreaker with the knees going up as it came, or powerbomb with the knees. Yeah, both of those spots look like they hurt, yet he still kept going. So, I think he's going to be unbeatable in this tournament. But let me go now to the semifinals. Now, in my final four, we have Grand Mahalik versus Jack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi versus Johnny Gargano. Now, you may be thinking, oh, he just picked 3 guys who are under WWE contract. Yes and no. Grand Mahalik, Kota Ibushi, and Johnny Gargano are under contract. But, hear me out. We'll start with Zack versus Mahalik. Now, after watching the first round, Mahalik is quick. Mahalik can break submissions. Mahalik is, well, one of the best that I have seen. I think he's like the top 5 out of all 32 competitors, which I like. Now, I honestly think he will go over Jack Sabre Jr. in just the fact that Sabre is not that great of a cruiserweight. If he was like a light heavyweight or just a heavyweight like Chris Benoit was, then he would make one heck of a WWE competitor. But Mahalik is just what they are looking for when it comes to the cruiserweight division. So I think Mahalik is going to go over Jack Sabre Jr. Now, the next one you think, oh, he's going to go for Johnny Gargano because he went all fanboy on him last time. Not quite. Johnny Gargano is already in NXT. He's going after the tag team titles as of this video. Kota Ibushi, I think, is pretty much going to chop Gargano down. He is going to make it so Gargano can't get back up. Use those very powerful kicks of his and just beat down Gargano to the point where he eventually does give up. Now tell me you don't want to see this match. Grand Mahalik versus Kota Ibushi. Ibushi. Sorry, I keep saying his name wrong. Someone with the most powerful legs versus one of the best Lucha Libre stars since I've seen since Rey Mysterio. This match is going to be one for the ages. And if I counted the dates right, this might actually happen at SummerSlam. I don't know if it will, but it would be one heck of a match to see at SummerSlam. It would show what WWE is breeding for the Cruiserweight division for Raw. And I honestly think Ibushi is going to come out on top of this match, with him going in to WWE Raw holding the brand new Cruiserweight title. Now, this is just personally my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be right. If you want to follow along and make your own predictions, let me know in the comments below. Tell me if you thought what I said was stupid. Maybe I got people wrong. Maybe I got dates wrong. Maybe I said something that you think I should have said that I didn't, or maybe that I should have added. But Kota Ibushi, I think he's going to be the first Cruiserweight champion in this new division. So we will see what happens around SummerSlam. If, again, the dates are correct. But we won't know until then. But thank you all for listening. Just remember, the background is from WWE, not my own thing, but the graphics, I put all those in by hand. So let me know what you think below. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and I shall see you guys next time.